Hi there, MK here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're subscribed or if you follow my pages, you know this is where we talk about everything occupational health and safety, human factors and ergonomics, and of course the technology that powers all of this. Today we will be discussing some concepts that you should be familiar with. A follower asked me on a previous video the difference between hazard and risks. Today we will be discussing four concepts and I will explain them in the simplest way you could understand. Hazards, risks, incidents, and accidents. Four concepts. Now, a hazard is anything that has a potential to cause harm. For example, a wet floor is an hazard. Now, risks, on the other hand, is the likelihood of this wet floor causing damage or an injury or harm. It also explores the severity of the harm or injury if it eventually does occur. For example, a walker that is running across a wet floor, it increases the likelihood of harm or injury occurring. And then incidents, we could call it an unplanned event, that could cause injury or harm, whether or not it actually happens. For example, using this wet floor analogy, a walker runs across the wet floor and perhaps this walker trips and falls, but did not sustain any injuries. There was no loss, there was no damage. That is an incident. And then finally, an accident is an unplanned event that leads to injury, damage, or loss. And this particular walker, for example, runs across a wet floor, slips, falls, and then sustains an injury, maybe a broken arm, or even sustains a loss. That is, the person dies. That is an accident. I hope that you understand this concept, and if you want me to further elaborate on it, please feel free to ask any questions in the comment section and I will attend to them. Subscribe, like, and follow me so that you can stay on top of all the new videos that are coming out. Thank you.